Hi, hello everybody. My name is Rajneel, or Raj for short, and today I'll be sharing a story that really resonated with me. This is a story from a recent interview that I conducted with Mrs. Torisha Sen, a journalist and a lead entertainment editor at Indian Link, which is one of Australia's leading South Asian media platforms and also, of course, news portal. So, like me, Torisha comes from a Fijian Indian background, and she also grew up where stability and respect was highly valued in most families. But her journey from being a young girl raised in a migrant family after the 1984 Fiji coup to a successful entertainment journalist in Sydney is jam-packed with a lot of humor, courage, and of course lessons about rewriting your own story and ultimately believing in yourself. I chose Torisha because her story sort of mirrors my own aspirations in journalism. She also navigated tradition, creativity, and sort of aspiring her own cultural identity, especially in the modern media world. And through this narrative interview, I wanted to explore how she found her voice, how she managed change, especially with her family, and how those experiences shaped what success means to her today. So, focusing on Torisha's timeline, her story begins in the mid 80s when her parents migrated from Fiji to Australia during the political unrest. Of course, they experienced the shift in culture and the environment and sort of coming to terms with the new life here. Her father became a truck driver, and her mother worked as an assistant nurse at a local nursing home. And they both worked tirelessly to provide for both of the two daughters, Torisha and her younger sister Tanisha. Like many Indian parents, and they had big dreams and aspirations for both of their daughters, as they wanted at least one of them to become a doctor and one of them to become an engineer. But Torisha was different. She loved storytelling, she loved teaching and creativity, so she chose education over medicine. She completed her teaching degree, and at the same time, she met her husband there during that time and began working in schools. But deep down, she felt restlessness. Something was missing. She told me she enjoyed teaching, but she used to come home and write for hours. That's when she realized that she doesn't like teaching, but she also likes to tell stories. That spark led her to pursue journalism at UNSW. She became an intern at Fiji Times Australia, and she eventually, of course, joined the Indian Link where she is now, and she sort of worked up her way to become the lead entertainment editor. Her timeline shows that careers don't always move in straight lines. Sometimes they spiral, pause, shift, and that's what makes them meaningful. So when I asked Torisha what was the major turning point in her career, she laughed and she said that it was the day that she told her dad that she wanted to quit teaching. So basically, in quintessential Indian families, seeking approval and guidance, it's pertinent before you start a new endeavor. His response was directed as half a joke and maybe half a warning, as he said that instead of becoming a teacher, you could have just become a poet instead. But she understood that behind that humor, sarcastic humor, was of course love and of course fear. Fear that she might struggle and that journalism might not be secure. And of course, he was just looking out for his little girl. For Torisha, that moment was powerful. It was the first time that she realized that she had to define success for herself. She told me at first she felt guilty. She thought that she was disappointing them. But then she realized her parents taught her to work hard and do good work. And they never said that it had to be in medicine. That conversation reframed everything for her. It was a start of reauthoring her own story, moving from what I should be to who I really am. She said it wasn't easy she did have initial challenges trying to establish her roots in media. She had to start from scratch, learn digital editing, pitch on articles, and she of course faced a lot of rejection. But with sheer persistence by grew, and so did her confidence. Now, moving on to Torisha's achievements. Today, Torisha continues to thrive at Indian Link, covering major film festivals, interviewing Hollywood and Bollywood superstars, celebrating cultural achievements, and embracing her heritage. But what excites her most isn't, of course, fame, it's her mentorship. She said, when I was starting out, there was hardly any brown women in Australian media. She wanted the next generation to know that they also belong here too. Her hope for the future is to help young South Asian writers navigate their own journey into balanced respect for tradition with the courage to tell new stories. As a mother of two, she also learned to balance journalism and family life. She joked that she used to chase celebrities for interviews. Now she chases toddlers around the house. Yet through all the chaos, she says it feels complete because her work connects well to her roots and community in the ways that no other job could have done for her. That really resonated with me as someone who also wants to bring South Asian voices into mainstream media. Her story feels like both a guidebook and also a mirror. Finally, Tarisha's next goal is to create a media podcast platform amplifying stories of the Indian and Pacific diaspora in Australia. She wants to give voice to the underrepresented communities, especially women balancing culture, identity, and modernity. This aligns with her values of storytelling, empathy, and authentic connection central to her narrative journey. Next, Tarisha's story completes deeply to her narrative therapy ideas we've discussed earlier this semester. Firstly, she engaged in reauthoring by moving her from her parents' expectations to creating her own purpose. She literally rewrote the story of what success looked like for her. Secondly, through remembering, she didn't reject her family's values, she interpreted them. She still carries her parents' work ethic and cultural identity, but she channeled it through journalism. And lastly, outside of witnessing, her community, her readers, even her parents became witnesses to her transformation. Over time, their proud replaced their doubt. I found this incredibly powerful because it shows how storytelling isn't just personal, it's rational. We also grow through these stories, others seeing us. So, conclusively, speaking with Tarisha reminded me of why I fell in love with journalism in the first place. It's not really about the headlines, it's more about the people, identity, and of course, finding belonging. Her journey taught me that detours aren't, of course, failures, they're sort of part of the direction, and that even when the pathway feels uncertain, each story we tell adds something meaningful to the world. As someone who's also navigating life between cultures, I'm very inspired by her ability to merge her heritage, her creativity, and her ambition in a single beautiful narrative. All of her articles, her interviews, and interactions are all available on the Indian Link website and, of course, across the Indian Link social media. So I like to thank Tarisha for telling her story, and I'd like to thank all of you for listening to my presentation.